Thanks for joining us on the Talk of Champions live stream. My name is Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. April 19th, A-Day 2018, just days away. Be sure and go out and support the Crimson Tide. It's a free game, spring game, tons of storylines. You can read all of them on BamaInsider.com. Big list of recruits actually coming into Tuscaloosa. You can catch all that information on BamaInsider.com. Today on the show, I wanted to talk about Bleacher Report's latest article, which basically said if Jalen Hurts doesn't start at Alabama, he's going to transfer. So thanks again for joining us on the Talk of Champions live stream. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe at BamaInsider.com. That's where all our coverage is, and we got some great stuff recruiting-wise on BamaInsider.com from Andrew Bone. You know, nobody does it bigger or better in the business than Andrew Bone. So what I want to do is I want to pipe in a video real quick just to kind of build up the story, because Jalen Hurts here at Alabama, what he's done has been exceptional. And to hear his father's comments today in Bleacher Report was quite interesting. It's shaking up the internet. So let's bring in that clip of Jalen real quick. This is following Alabama's win in the national championship against Georgia, and then we'll continue with the show. So let's pipe in that video real quick. All right, here we go. In 1 second, here we go.
Good. Jalen, what's it feel like for redemption tonight, man?
National champions, not a better feeling.
How'd the conversation go at halftime with you and the coaching staff, man?
Man, look, we won. We're national champ. Regardless of everything else, I'm enjoying this with my team.
You are really excited, man. Can you explain why you're able to be so selfless in a moment like this?
Because this is a team. This is a team game. You know, we had to wait 2 years.
From quick time
That's how I feel. And we got it done this year.
How good is Tua, man? Have you seen this sort of flash behind you in practice?
He's dang good. Y'all see it? He's good. And we're national champs.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Like I said, Jalen Hurts, class act all the way through. And it was, here are the comments from a very on Hurts today. Coach Saban's job is to do what's best for the team. I have no problem with that. My job is to do what's best for Jalen. And make no mistake, Jalen is a quarterback, and he wants to play quarterback. He loves Alabama, loves Coach Saban, and everything about that place. But he wants to play and will play. As you know, Jalen Hurts struggled in the national championship game. He was 3 for 8, only 21 yards at halftime. Coach Saban made the call. As you know, he does what's best for the team. He put in Tua Tagovailoa, and Alabama won another national championship. It was the call to make. Jalen wasn't getting it done, and Tua came in, saved the day, along with his team, right? This is a team game, just like Jalen had said. Jalen's been a class act, and it continues to be perplexing here in Tuscaloosa to see the amount of dislike and criticism that Jalen Hurts gets. I mean, think about this. Jalen started 14 games last year for Alabama, finishing the year with 2,081 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He also finished second on the team in rushing, 855 yards, and 8 scores on the ground. The Houston, Texas native has led the Crimson Tide 2 straight national championship games, 26-2 as a starter. However, he was replaced by Tagovailoa in the second half, as you know, once he struggled. The article on Bleacher Report continues. I told Jalen, you effed up. You opened the door and put yourself in this situation. A very on Hurts said. Now it's up to you to dig yourself out. I mean, okay. We have a quarterback battle going into the spring. We have a quarterback battle going into the actual season. I said a couple shows ago that I feel Jalen will start against Louisville, right? I absolutely do. I don't think it's going to be Jalen's show the entire season. I think Tua is eventually going to get the reins, but he's going to have to earn those reins. And I've been at practice, every single practice for spring. It's been Jalen number 1 in the reps. Hey, say what you want. Say that you want Tua to start. I get it. You know, if that's your guy that you want to ride with, go ahead. But Jalen has been the guy first in every single rep this year. And does that mean anything? I don't know. I've said it before. Damian Harris is first before Najee Harris. Jerry Jeudy, before he got injured, he was first as the wide receiver. So I don't think Jalen, I've said it many times, I don't think he's just going to hand over the keys. So today's article on Bleacher Report was very interesting, to say the least. It's shaking up the internet. And I wanted to read some comments on the BamaInsider.com message board. So I'm going to pipe those in now. And you can also, during this time, you can send in questions during the chat and get back to you. And we can chat a little bit before we close up the show. And Jalen Hurts leaving Alabama, that would be that would be quite the talk of college football. And as the article also mentioned, Jalen would be the biggest free agent in college football. I completely agree with that. So we're going to bring in some comments from the Bama Insider message board. Let me frame this up for you so you can better see it, and then we'll continue. Let's see. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. All right. We'll scroll down. Good thing Mac Jones is progressing nicely. Now, I agree with that. Mac Jones certainly doing a good job as a redshirt freshman. I think he's shown a lot of maturity, and as we talked about, he's looked pretty good, and I can't wait to see what he can do in the spring game. Dad isn't being completely realistic. I think, you got to do what's best for your son, but at the same point, Jalen's a grown man. It'd be interesting to see what Jalen had to say. This is coming from his father, but what does Jalen actually have to say about the quarterback situation? The media hasn't been able to talk to him all year. If he is trying to pressure Saban to start, it's not going to work. I agree with that. You can't threat Nick Saban and say, if I don't start, if my son doesn't start, he's walking. We don't know about that. You can't threat Nick Saban. I think he's going to play the best. Let's see. There's a lot of comments, and you can go ahead and post your comments in here. I'll help him pack his bags if all the way if it plays out. Okay. Why would he transfer? Now I'm getting some questions on Bama Insider. Let's see. If he doesn't transfer, do you think he will return to Texas? Maybe Houston. Houston, that would be a good fit for Jalen, actually. I think it would be interesting to see what he could do in their type of system. If you're just joining us, this is BamaInsider.com, the live stream. Let me frame this up for you better. Coming to you talking about Jalen Hurts, the news today on BleacherReport.com that they wrote a story saying that Jalen Hurts would transfer if he is not the starter at Alabama come the 2018 season. Why would he transfer? Tony Savage asked. Well, just as his dad said, he's a starter. He wants to be the guy. He's a winner. 26-2 at Alabama. Lost to Auburn, lost to Clemson in the national title game. Has he won a national championship for Alabama? Well, he's led them there, but it was Tua. We all know it was Tua that won the national championship game for Alabama. So maybe if he's not the guy, he'd bounce out. Do you really think he'll leave? Yeah, I do think he'll leave. I think if this continues to play out, and of course it's going to the entire summer, I think Jalen, if he's not dubbed the starter, now I've said many times that he will start against Louisville. I just think he's going to start that first game. But I think eventually if he's not starting or if something happens during the summertime, I think Jalen will pack his bags and he'll bounce out. Remember, tonight we're going to live stream Nick Saban's press conference probably around 6 o'clock, 6:15 on this YouTube channel right here. So be sure and tune in and give us a subscribe on the YouTube channel, and subscribe right now at BamaInsider.com. We got a ton of spring game information, recruiting information, big time recruits coming into town. You won't want to miss that on BamaInsider.com. Reading some more questions. I think he would fit in well at USC. That would be interesting because I think he would really work well with offensive coordinator T. Martin if he was a transfer out west. Being a Houston guy to Cali, that could be an interesting fit. But I think USC likes their pocket style passers more than somebody who has a dual threat ability like Jalen. That's why I think it would be interesting to see where he goes. Someone said today Auburn. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine if Jalen Hurts went to Auburn? That would be crazy, right? I'm reading some more comments in here. Go ahead and throw them in, and we'll talk about them before we close up shop on the Talk of Champions live feed. Do you think Jalen was one of the best quarterbacks ever to touch Tuscaloosa? No, I don't think so. But I think, his record speaks for itself. But would any other quarterback have a 26-2 mark with the talent that Alabama has had? That's all. We always talk about that on the Talk of Champions message board on BamaInsider.com. I mean, Alabama is so talented. I mean, how good does the quarterback really have to be? Think about the past quarterbacks that Alabama has had. I mean, who would you say is the best quarterback that they've had, and how does Jalen stack up against those guys? I think, Jalen's certainly not the best ever, but he's climbing the list on several categories: passing yards, most touchdowns. He's a proven winner. He's a proven leader. And if you're just joining us, I played a clip at the beginning of the program showing Jalen's character off the field and how he handled himself after Alabama won the national championship game when the reporter asked him, what do you think? What do you think of Tua? What do you think? And he's like, this is a team game. This is a team game. We're champions. Let's see. More comments. Would be the best ever in Austin if Jalen would go to Texas. That would be interesting, right? Hurts going to Texas to play for the Longhorns. I actually like that. That would be interesting. Good call right there. He graduates in December. Would be a smart move to transfer then. Completely agree with that. If you're just joining us, this is the Talk of Champions live stream. I'm going to play that clip again that we played at the beginning of the program. Give me a second to bring it up. And this is Jalen Hurts talking after the national championship game. I just want to show you the type of player that Jalen Hurts is, and the respect that he has for Tua, because I think a lot of people probably don't see this light of Jalen Hurts. Let me bring that up real quick. Give me a second. All right. Just going to play the ad real quick. All right. And keep the comments coming. I'll get the comments as soon as we can. All right. Here you go. This is Jalen Hurts following the national championship game.
Jalen, what's it feel like for redemption tonight, man?
National champions, not a better feeling.
How'd the conversation go at halftime with you and the coaching staff, man?
Man, look, we won. We're national champ. Regardless of everything else, I'm enjoying this with my team.
You are really excited, man. Can you explain why you're able to be so selfless in a moment like this?
Because this is a team. This is a team game. We had to wait 2 years for this. That's how I feel. And we got it done this year.
How good is Tua, man? Have you seen this sort of flash behind your practice?
He's dang good. Y'all see it? He's good. And we're national champs.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
All right, that was Jalen Hurts again commenting after Alabama's national championship victory over Georgia. Another comment coming in. Don't you think he deserves a little bit more respect? I think what Jalen has done at Alabama has been pretty remarkable. I mean, he's only going to be a junior this coming year, and his numbers speak for himself. I mean, if we rewind his stats, started all 14 games last year, 2,000 yards passing, 17 touchdowns, only one interception. People forget that he only threw one interception last year. And, I mean, he balled out. 26-2 as a starter. Want to hear from you. Continue to send in these chats and the comments underneath, and we'll break it out. But I'm kind of shocked by the comments on Bleacher Report. And if you're just joining us, here are the comments earlier today from Bleacher Report's article. Coach Saban's job is to do what's best for his team. I have no problem with that. A very on Hurts told Bleacher Report. My job is to do what's best for Jalen, and make no mistake, Jalen is a quarterback. He wants to play quarterback. He loves Alabama, loves Coach Saban and everything about that place. But he wants to play. He will play. He also said later on in the article, I told Jalen, this is after the Georgia game, you effed up. You opened the door and put yourself in the situation. The very on Hurts said to Jalen, now it's your time to dig yourself out. Powerful stuff, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple months between Jalen Hurts and Alabama. It's going to be a big deal. I want to see what Jalen Hurts does on A-Day. Here's my take on A-Day. I think Jalen Hurts is going to come out and just ball out, right? It's going to be Jalen versus Mac Jones. Tua's not going to play. Sidelined with his index finger injury. By the way, I think Tua's going to be fine once the season comes around. Interested to see what Mac Jones can do. But I think Jalen Hurts is going to ball out on Saturday, right? I could see him and by the way, the rosters haven't been released, so we don't know who's going to be on Crimson and White. The game will be on ESPN at 1 p.m. Central Time So you'll get a chance to talk about A-Day. We can break A-Day down. We'll have another show where we go over A-Day and we talk about what we learned from A-Day. But I think I could see Jalen Hurts hooking up with Henry Ruggs a couple times, maybe Irv Smith out of the tight end position. We've talked about Irv Smith, how much we like Irv Smith and what we've seen from him. This is just so perplexing to see what's going to happen with the Alabama quarterback position. I mean, we could talk about it for days just because you have Tua and, with the type of talent that Tua has coming back, you can't sideline him. Can you sideline Jalen and what he's done for this team? People love to hate Jalen. Don't be surprised. I completely agree with that. That since I've been in Tuscaloosa, I cannot believe how many people dislike Jalen Hurts. It's incredible. They would rather see Mac Jones, who has no playing experience, start instead of Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts, 26-2 as a starter, doesn't matter. Rather see Mac Jones play. Rather see Tua Tagovailoa play than Jalen Hurts. I get it. Tua led the team to the national championship. He's got that touch on the pass. And Tua, what the tools that he has, straight up incredible. I've never seen a quarterback put a nicer touch on a ball as a true freshman than Tua. I mean, kid's got it. Nice little lefty coming up. I mean, Tua's going to do big things. But as we close up the show, I want to say follow us on YouTube, subscribe to this channel, follow us on BamaInsider.com. We got a nice promo running right now at BamaInsider.com. A-Day 2018 is the promo code at checkout. We'll catch you soon. Nick Saban speaks tonight. I'm sure we're going to ask him about these comments and this article on Bleacher Report today, so be sure and check that out. My name is Kyle Henderson. I'm the managing editor at BamaInsider.com. Join us on the website, the message boards, Ataka Champions. We got a ton of stuff kicking the ball around all day long. A-Day on Saturday, we'll have a complete breakdown. And I was reading one more about internet trolls on the chat. So good stuff. Appreciate the feedback. Be good people. Nick Saban tonight, 6 p.m. Central Time right here, live stream on the channel from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This is the Talk of Champions live stream on YouTube. Follow us on BamaInsider.com. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks.